Big Polly's World of Sports Sims presents the Hometown Football League using Action PC Football 2020. And welcome to game number 5 of week number 6 here in the Hometown Football League. I'm Big Polly coming to you. Today it's a trip to Cleveland, Ohio, virtually, as the Baltimore Ravens battle the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore being a combination of old Baltimore Colts and Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Colts prior to their move to Indianapolis, as I was mentioning in the other game. Cleveland's just Cleveland. I don't think there are any Cleveland Rams on this Cleveland configuration. Cleveland a 6-point favorite to win today. We'll take a look at the weather. Oh, a nice day. Well, actually not all that nice. 50 degrees, nice and cool. Wind of 5 to 15 miles an hour. There'll be a light rain falling at Cleveland Brown Stadium. Baltimore being controlled by the computer. I'll control Cleveland as the home team. I always control the home team in this game per HTFL rules. My rules, I make them up. George Carlin. As always, George Carlin's answer when he figured what improvements he wanted to make to the sports world back in one of his 1980s sketches. Baltimore won the toss, deferred. Cleveland will get the first half choice. They will receive, and that's how this game will start. Johnny Unitas and Otto Graham starting at quarterback for their respective teams. Brian Billick, the Baltimore coach. Paul Brown on the sidelines for Cleveland on this light, rainy day, 50 degrees, football weather if you could ever wish upon it. Metcalf, Mitchell, and Motley back deep for the Cleveland Browns. In Brown, Baltimore in kind of Baltimore Colts-ish uniforms, kind of like in a Baltimore, like I said, like the Colts uniforms. Kind of resembles that with a little tinge of purple. And Metcalf's going to return this a yard deep from his end zone. And it's a nice return, 34 yards out to the 33 before Galbats got to him. And we'll set the Cleveland offense and the Baltimore defense for you. It's going to be Brown and Motley at running back, Mitchell and Warfield at wideout, Kellen Winslow Jr. at tight end, Otto Graham at quarterback, Thomas, Hickerson, Mack, Willis, and Schaffrath will be your offensive line. Marchetti and Nagata for Baltimore at defensive end. Lipscomb and Art Donovan at defensive tackle. Hendricks, Lewis, Suggs, a outstanding linebacker core for Baltimore. McAllister and Keene, Reed and Volk, those are going to be your defensive backs. And on 1st and 10, trap right, Jim Brown. Baltimore showing blitz, but we're going to keep the play running. Gain of 2. I think the key is to Cleveland is if they can get a running game established, they usually do well. You don't have to depend on Otto Graham too much, but when Graham throws, he can be devastating if you set it up right. And we'll go to Motley on a sweep right on 2nd and 8. Heavy blitz, so it's going to be a screen to Brown instead. And Brown breaks free, and he's got himself a first down, a pickup of 18. Jim Brown, considered one of the best running backs of all time. And I think anybody will concede that to you. Trap right, Jim Brown on 1st and 10. And a marker. We'll check that out.
Holding offense.
Ooh, coming back.
82, 10-yard penalty.
Kellen Winslow. Now that is the Kellen Winslow senior photo, not Kellen Winslow Jr. Fix that one of these days. 1st and 20, the ball at the Cleveland 43, and we will pitch it right to Jim Brown this time. Try to get him as many touches as possible until game situation warrants change. Gain of 14 against Kansas City. He had 154 yards on 17 carries. Jim Brown can find a way to break loose. Marion Motley, trap right on 2nd and 6. Gain of a yard, Donovan on the tackle. 3rd and 5. They'll bring Benton as a third wideout, and they'll go to him on the medium cross. Incomplete. But with a 4th and 5 at the 42, they will bring in Gary Collins and he will pooch it. Touchback. So Baltimore gets their first possession with 11:34 left in the opening quarter. Lewis and Washington, your running backs for Baltimore. Barry and Alexander at wideout. Heap at tight end. Johnny U out of Louisville, your quarterback. Ogden, Yanda, Curry, Barwagen, and Vogel will be your offensive line. Ford and Burnett, your defensive ends for Cleveland. Rimkus and Shirk at defensive tackle. Banks, Johnson, Matthews at linebacker. Dixon and Menafield at corner. Darden at James at safety. And let's see what Unitas does on 1st and 10. The give to Joe Washington, no gain. 2nd and 10, that was Rimkus on the tackle, by the way. Same spot. And this is a give to Jamal Lewis, and Lewis has had some good games as of late. That was a pickup of 11. We'll take a look at his game log so far. And he had 150 2 weeks ago against Arizona, and then he followed that up with a 89-yard effort against New York, and that pulled New York from the ranks of the undefeated. And if you missed it earlier, Washington lost to Miami, so no teams are left undefeated in HTFL play as we're in week number 6. 1st and 10, the ball at the 31. Give is going to be to Joe Washington. A fumble recovered by Cleveland. Menafield picked it up. No return, and Cleveland in business at the Baltimore 38. They'll go double tight end, and they will look for Bobby Mitchell. Play action, medium cross. Incomplete. Just beyond the reach of Mitchell, Ed Reed out of Miami, of Florida, provided the coverage. Now you got 2nd and 10. This is going to be a sweep left by Jim Brown. And Brown with a first down, and he's all the way inside the 20 to the 18. Lewis on the stop for Baltimore. Motley will get it on a trap right on 1st and 10. He gains 3. Keene limping off. He's out for the game. So Stukes will come in to replace him. Charlie Stukes out of Maryland Eastern Shore. Now you got a 2nd and 7 as this light rain continues to fall. Brown, trap right. Brown a little closer to first down yardage to the 10. Gain of 5. McAllister on the stop for Baltimore. Autogram looking at 3rd and 2. And they'll go for the high percentage play at trap right. And Brown's not going to get there. Let's check the marker.
Holding offense. Number 77, 10-yard penalty.
Shafrath called for holding, but that will be declined to force a 4th down play. Barr will come in and try a 28-yarder, which is good. But a marker
Holding
here.
offense, 10-yard penalty.
Shafrath again called for holding. Make this a 38-yard try. Barr with the wind, but he pushes it right. No good. So Baltimore takes over at their own 28. 7:46 left. They have the wind in their faces, but they will have the wind advantage for the longest period of time in the 2nd and the 3rd quarters, and then they will be at a disadvantage for the 4th quarter. Here's your 1st and 10 play. A give to Washington, but we have a marker.
Holding offense. Number 82, 10-yard penalty.
Alexander commits a holding penalty. They bring Lenny Moore in, and he's a very potent 3rd wideout. You see him on the top of your screen. And it'll be 1st and 20 from the 18. That's a little dump off to Heap, who gains 7 yards, and Don Paul made the tackle. 2nd and 13, the ball at the 25. Screen to Lewis? Yes. Close to first down yardage. He picks up 11. And it'll be 3rd and 2. It was Darden who made the last tackle for Cleveland. Incomplete pass, looking for Joe Washington. Incomplete. So Baltimore will now punt it back to Cleveland. Really didn't know how this game was going to play out. Could be a defensive battle with all the running that might be going on. But then again, these teams could also light it up on the scoreboard when called upon. Here's your punt. It was by Koch. And it'll be returned. And a nice return of 12 yards by Eric Metcalf, son of Terry Metcalf, who plays on the St. Louis HTFL team, who we'll be seeing in a couple of games. We have 5:48 left, opening quarter, still no score. Brown, a sweep to the right. And Brown, a first down, 12 yards. McAllister on the stop for Baltimore. First and 10, the ball now at the 43. They'll look for Brown, trap right. Gain of 3 yards. Nagata makes the stop for Baltimore. They're going to look for Motley here. Sweep right. Gain of a couple. Nagata on the stop. 3rd and 5. They'll stay in the base formation, and they will go to Paul Warfield here. Incomplete. So Graham has started 1 for 4, 18 yards. Cleveland will punt it away, and they'll go to Gary Collins, hero of the 1964 championship game against Baltimore. They beat them 27-0 that day. And as players did back then, they also played on special teams. So Gary Collins is also a very good punter. First and 10, ball to 20 for Baltimore. We have 3:27 left. To Lewis for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5, the ball now at the 25. Marker.
False start. Offense, number 86, 5-yard penalty.
That's Heap, and that'll move Baltimore back 5. So the Ravens now facing 2nd and 10. Lewis straight ahead, 3 yards. He now has 3 carries for 19 yards, 1 reception for 11. 3rd and 7, ball to 23. A slant to Heap, but Heap cannot make the play. Ball going back to Cleveland unless there's a turnover on the punt. You got Koch back deep to Metcalf, who fair catches it at the 29, punt of 48. We have 1:48 left. No score, opening quarter. Going to be a quick pitch to Jim Brown. Ravens are blitzing, so it's going to be a screen instead to Brown. And that's caught, but not for much. A loss of 3, in fact. Brown has 2 catches, and with that 3-yard loss, he's at 15 yards. He has 7 carries for 55. They'll go to Brown here, off tackle right on 2nd and 13. And a gain of 7. And that'll be 3rd and 6 now. We have 55 seconds left in the opening quarter. We'll go to Mitchell on the short cross. Pass defense for Baltimore is pretty solid. It's a dump off to Brown, but
Roughing the passer, defense.
15
number
against
83,
Baltimore.
15-yard penalty.
They get the
automatic,
stork.
First down.
Ted Hendricks for roughing the passer, and that moves it to the 40-yard line of Baltimore. It's going to be sweep right, Jim Brown on 1st and 10. Could be the final play of the quarter, barring a penalty. And a gain of 7. So Brown will finish the first quarter, 9 carries, 69 yards. We're at the end of the first quarter, no score. Again, my thanks to you, to those of you who have been commenting on my recent videos. And we picked up our 51st subscriber today on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. I didn't catch who that was, but if you're out there and you subscribed today, August 12th, 2020, you have my utmost thanks. This is the second game I have done today, probably will be the last one I do, and we will come back with at least 2 more games tomorrow, weather permitting, and in Florida, the west coast of Florida, on a summer afternoon. You never know what's going to happen. 2nd and 3, the ball at the 33. We're going to go Motley on a dive. Motley cannot move ahead much. He loses a yard. And Suggs makes the tackle. 3rd and 4, ball at the 34. We are just beginning quarter number 2. We have no score in the game. Cleveland 4-1, Baltimore 3-2. Cleveland right now into the wind. So they will go to Brown on a trap right and hope the offensive line can execute, and they do. A pickup of 5. With the wind disadvantage, they kept it on the ground, and it worked out nicely for the Cleveland Browns. No score, 14-10 left, but you knew that already. Pitch right, Jim Brown. And Brown continues to rack up the carries. That was carry number 11 for him. He has 82 yards, and that picked up 8. Long play action pass to Paul Warfield from the 21, a 2nd and short. And that's incomplete. 3rd and 2, ball to 21. And we'll go Motley off tackle right. And Motley with running room, 8 yards. Cleveland has run 23 plays, 16 of them have been rushes. Brown has 11 and Motley has 5. So Brown, a dive play on 1st and 10. Baltimore bunching up their defense. Donovan on the tackle after a gain of 2. So Brown closing in on 100 yards. Ball's at the 11, 2nd and 8. They can get a first without getting a touch. We'll go to Motley here. Pitch right. And Marion Motley has a first down. And they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal. 12 play, 70-yard drive. So this will be play number 13. They'll go to Otto Graham. Quarterback sneak. And Graham's got it. Touchdown. One of the great quarterbacks of his era, Otto Graham, with the touchdown. It's 6-0. Your extra point to make it 7-0 is good. Matt Barr puts that through. And now Baltimore, the Ravens trail by a touchdown. You got Lewis, Hillenbrand, and Laird back deep for the Ravens. Just beat the Giants, knocked them from the ranks of the undefeated.
Receiving team.
McAllister called for holding. And that's a big penalty. It'll move Baltimore back to their own 13. 1st and 10 from there. Unitas. They hand off to Joe Washington, who picks up 4 yards. Burnett on the stop for Cleveland. 2nd and 6, ball to 17. To Lewis, who picks up 5. Ford on the tackle. They bring John Mackey in as a second tight end. He will wear number 88. You see him on top in this kind of I formation. 3rd and a yard. Marker down.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty.
Vogel called for a false start offensively. And that'll probably change Baltimore's strategy here on 3rd and 6 from the 17 now. Quick throw and a catch. That went to Joe Washington. 13 yards, and Don Paul made the tackle. 1st and 10, the ball at the 30, and another marker.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 90. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Burnett called for defensive encroachment. We have had 8 penalties so far in the game, and we've only played a quarter and a half, so it's been kind of sloppy. 1st and 5 from the 35. Nice, a give to Lewis, close to the first, picks up 4. Johnson on the tackle for Cleveland. 2nd and 1, the ball at the 39. Lewis, did he get the first? He is just short. Matthews on the stop. Take a look at Matthews. That is Clay Matthews out of USC, played on those 80s Browns teams. And we'll take a look at his game logs. had a 10 tackle game against Pittsburgh in their 30-20 win. The only loss Cleveland has had was to Cincinnati week 3. They lost to them 38-21. Third and inches, ball at the 40. Unitas is going to go long, and he's got it. Gain of 47 to Alexander on the deep post. It was James making the tackle for Cleveland. And now Baltimore, the Ravens, have things going at the 13 of Cleveland, first and 10. Give to Joe Washington. Washington looked like he made it inside the 10. He did to the 9. Shirk on the tackle for Cleveland. Second and 6. If you're wondering who number 26 is there on the line, that is Barwigen. Here's your second and 6 play. And a touchdown to Jamal Lewis. So Baltimore on the board. The point after try by Tucker is good, and we're tied at 7-all with 4:54 left in the half. Metcalf back deep for Cleveland. That'll be a touchback as Baltimore has the wind advantage. So Baltimore answering Cleveland after Cleveland had a lengthy drive. And we're tied at 7. Jim Brown needs 16 more yards for 100. We'll try to get him some more here on this trap left. A blitz is coming, so it's going to be a screen to Motley instead. And Motley has the first down and has a lot more than that. 26 yards. Volk finally made the tackle for Baltimore. First and 10 at the Cleveland 46. Trapped right, Jim Brown. They've been having a lot of success on the inside.
Holding offense.
Oh, but a holding there.
10-yard penalty
By Thomas. Make it first and 20. We'll go Mitchell on the slant. Looked like it might be there, but that quickly dematerialized. Incomplete. Second down and 20. We'll go pitch right, Jim Brown. As Baltimore was in a quarter defense, and that's 13 more yards for Jim Brown. He's at 97. So he could still get to 100 before the half. 3 wide in the game for Cleveland. It's going to be a short cross to Kellen Winslow Jr. Incomplete, but a marker.
12 men on the field. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
12 men on the field. Paul Brown must have thought he was in the CFL there for a little bit. Penalty was declined. It'll be a 4th and 7. Gary Collins will punt deep. And that's a return of 4 by Lewis, whipped down by Golick. So Baltimore with 2:54 left. A tie game. They got 88 yards to go to pay dirt. They start from their own 12, first and 10. Give to Washington, and Washington swarmed under by Burnett for a 4-yard loss. Each team with all timeouts left and all challenges left. Each team gets 1 challenge. Second and 14. The pitch to Washington, and he's got a first down and then some, 23 yards. Can Baltimore get a playoff before they're going to call a timeout. They're going to call a timeout with 2:19 left. That's their first that they have used. First and 10, ball at the 31. This is Joe Washington again. He picks up 3. He has 7 carries, 37 yards. He has 1 catch for 13. And we go to the 2-minute warning. It's 7-7. Second and 7. Oddly enough, ball at the 34. Incomplete, looking for Alexander, who just made the big play for 47 yards on the last possession. Now a 3rd and 7, ball at the 34. And was that a busted play? Johnson came up and lowered the boom on him for a sack, and Cleveland will call a timeout there. They will have 2 left. It'll be 4th and 12 at the 29 for Baltimore. It will have a wind advantage on the punt, and that looked like a good one. Returned by Metcalf. 51 yards on the punt by Koch. Metcalf returned at 7. Laird made the stop for Baltimore. We have 1:49 left, a 7-7 tie. Now see how the Baltimore defense is bunched in. I'm going to try to go long here to Mitchell. A sack. Gino Marchetti in for the loss of 9. And Baltimore uses a timeout. We have 1:38 left. 2nd and 19. I love these plays to run on and try to cut down the yardage we need for third down. We're going to sweep it right with Jim Brown. And Baltimore was in a corner, and Brown goes over 100 on the day. 1:31 left. Will Baltimore call their last timeout? They do. Make it 3rd and 15. We're going to screen it to Brown. Not do anything too fancy, but that's incomplete. Otto Graham not off to a good start. He's 4 out of 11 for 53 yards, and I think that wind disadvantage the Browns have for quarters number 2 and 3 is coming into play. Gary Collins back deep to punt for the Browns. And that's Lewis back for the Ravens. A punt of 43, fair caught. And it's now 1st and 10, the ball at the 35 with 1:18 to go. Unitas to Lewis. Lewis picks up 7. Remember, Baltimore out of timeouts. Cleveland has 2, but they have no incentive to use them here. 2nd and 3. Screen to Washington. And that's a gain of 3. They got out of bounds, it looked like. So it's now 3rd and inches at the 46. 43 seconds left. Another screen to Washington. And he got out of bounds at the 42. Pick up a 13. And Baltimore going to try a long field goal here of 59 yards, but with it wind advantage. Here's Tucker. And it's dead solid perfect. 59-yard field goal by Justin Tucker. 10-7, but there are still 21 seconds left on the clock. Touchback. Cleveland with 2 timeouts, so they could do something here should they choose to. Warfield, long fly. Cleveland had 4 wideouts in the game, and this might be, is it? Yes, an interception. Lamar Davis. Psychological blunder there by Cleveland. And now Tucker is back on. Try a field goal from 51. And he nailed that. 13-7. So wham bam, thank you ma'am. 2 field goals within a 16-second span. Shades of what Miami did in the first half of Super Bowl 19. They cut a 28-10 deficit to 28-16. Field goal, turnover, field goal. Metcalf back deep. We have 5 seconds left. And that's a squib kick. That was Metcalf who took it, came up and took it. And Laird made the tackle after a 6-yard return that went out to the 36. But we have reached halftime. 13-7 Baltimore. Baltimore with 171 yards. Cleveland at 169, so we don't get any closer than that. Cleveland has run 33 plays. 21 have been rushes. Baltimore has run 24 plays. 14 have been rushes. And we'll get the second half started, and Baltimore will get it to start the second half. Baltimore is a team that I guess you could call road warriors after they went out and beat New York last week. And here's Lewis back deep. Takes it at about the 5. And that's a return to the 30. Gorgel on the tackle for Cleveland. 1st and 10. Ball at the 30. To Lewis. Loses a yard. Thought he might have gotten back to the line, but no. Shirk on the tackle for the Cleveland Browns. 2nd and 11. And Lewis breaks free. He's got 18 yards. On the day, he has 9 carries, 53 yards. That's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Unitas will run. He's got a first down and way more, 17 yards. A nice piece of running by Johnny U. Jones finally tackles him for Cleveland at the 36. 1st and 10 from there. A screen to Washington. And Joe Washington all the way down to the 6. So Baltimore, just as we saw Cincinnati, get more and more confident with every play against Cleveland a few weeks ago. Baltimore's confidence is improving against Cleveland here in week 6. 1st and goal, ball at the 6. To Lewis, and he lost 7. Clay Matthews on the stop for Cleveland. Now it's a 2nd and goal at the 13. Any score here for Baltimore would be big because they would put them up more than one score. A loss of 4 for Lewis, so all of a sudden Baltimore going backwards. 11 yards lost on 2 running plays. You don't see that very often. 3rd and goal to 17. So Unitas will throw. Looks for Lewis. Couldn't find Lewis. And now Tucker will try a field goal of 34 yards. And he's got that one. And it's 16-7. That's a score etched in Baltimore football memory. That's the score Baltimore lost to the Jets in Super Bowl III, 16-7. Metcalf back deep, touchback. So Cleveland has work to do, 1st and 10. They're going to keep it on the ground for now and go to Jim Brown, trap right. Motley on a screen because Baltimore is blitzing. And it was a yard loss. Probably would have been better off just keeping it with Jim Brown. 2nd and 11, ball at the 19. Off tackle right, Jim Brown. And Brown breaks free. He's got a first down, pick up a 13. So Cleveland sticking to the run, hoping it pays dividends later on. Pitch to the right, Jim Brown. Baltimore showing blitz, but Cleveland this time is going to try to go for it. No gain. Nagata on the stop for Baltimore. We'll go to Motley this time. Off tackle right. No gain there. In fact, he loses a yard. It'll be 3rd and 11. The look for Mitchell on the medium cross on 3rd and 11 from the 31. There's the throw. It was a dump off instead to Winslow, and he only gained 9. Needed 11. 4th and 2, and Collins will come in to punt. But Cleveland cannot far that much farther behind. Lewis, a fair catch at the 17 upon a 43. 16-7, Ravens leading, 6:32 left in quarter number 3. 1st and 10 to Washington, who gains 3. Matthews on the stop. 2nd and 7 at the 20. Incomplete. If I'm going too fast for you all, just stop the tape and just review. So we like to do these games fast. 3rd and 7, the ball at the 20. Lewis, a gain of
12
3.
men on the field. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
Cleveland will decline the penalty and get the ball back on a punt. We have Koch back deep for Baltimore. And it's a boomer of a punt. Should land inside the 20. And Cleveland will return it. Metcalf. Actually, he caught it about the 25. He's got a nice return going. 39-yard return all the way to the Baltimore 38. Punt went 54, but Koch may have out-punted the punt coverage, and that allowed Eric Metcalf to break free and get a nice return of 39. The net only 15. 5:16 left, 3rd quarter, 16-7, Baltimore. We'll go pitch right, Jim Brown. And Brown turned the corner a little bit, 5 yards. Suggs pushes him out. This is going to be a trap right with Marion Motley. Marker down.
Encroachment, defense.
Good for
Number
Cleveland.
76, 5-yard penalty.
They get Big Daddy Lipscomb for encroachment, and it's now 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 28. Brown, trap right. They've been having a lot of success running the ball on the inside. A fumble! Looked like Volk popped the ball free, but Brewster recovered it. And now Jim Brown at 131 yards rushing on 18 carries. We'll go to Motley on a dive, 1st and 10 from the 16. Straight ahead, 2 yards. Nagata makes the stop. Back to Jim Brown here. On a sweep left. And that's a nice gain for Brown, 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4. And this is another situation where I think Cleveland will want to run the ball. And they will just keep it on the inside, trap right to Brown, see what happens. Close to the first, but it'll be 4th and 2. They'll kick the field goal here. Here's Barr. Try from 25. It's good. And it's 16-10. Late in quarter number 3, a $1.27 left. Lewis back deep. And Lewis catches it about the 10. Moves it out 20 to the 30. So Baltimore, it's within a score now, 6 points. Unitas, 8 out of 13. He has not had to throw the ball much, 133 yards. Both teams being very conservative. You'd think this was where the Republican National Convention has been held. The teams have been so conservative. Ball at the 30. Washington loses a yard. Johnson on the stop. Of course, the rain probably had something to do with the fact that both these teams are running the ball tremendously. 2nd and 11, ball to 29. Lewis picks up nothing and likes it. Matthews on the stop. We've played 3. 16-10, Baltimore. And we start quarter number 4. 3rd and 11, ball to 29. A throw incomplete, looking for Heap, but it went right through his hand. So he will be in heap big trouble on the Baltimore sideline. Punting time. That was Koch, punting to Metcalf, and Metcalf gains 9 after a punt of 41. Now Cleveland has a wind advantage now in this 4th quarter. 50 degrees. The rain has intensified a little bit. We started playing the game in a light rain, but that has now changed to just normal rain. And we'll see what Cleveland can do here. Pitch right to Jim Brown. It's a blitz, but we're going to keep the play as it is. Can Brown beat the blitz? Well, he does a little bit, 4 yards. Nagata makes the stop for Baltimore. 2nd down and 6. Ball to 43. Winslow, short cross. Not there, incomplete. 3rd and 6. Another short pass attempt. We'll go to Mitchell this time.
Pass interference, defense.
Incomplete.
Number 20, automatic, 1st down.
But they bust Ed Reed for pass interference, so we'll move it up to the 44, 1st and 10. Double tight end set, and they will bring Jim Brown in, trap right. And Brown, they continue to have success on that inside running game, getting key blocks. And that time it was a gain of 8 before McAllister could bring Jim Brown down. We will go to Motley on an outside run, 2nd and 2. He's got the first, I think, yes. A gain of 3. Now a double tight end single running back formation, so there will be 2 wideouts. If you got a team that can throw, this could be a very lethal formation. Trap right, Jim Brown. And another nice gain, 7 yards. Brown now has 156 yards on the day. Let's take a look at Brown. See how he has been doing. That is a season, well, actually, his season high was 154, and he set that last week against Kansas City. And we don't know where he is right now because the stats went blank. Sweep left Jim Brown. He has 156, so this is a season high for him. Baltimore showing the blitz. Jim Brown don't care. A gain of 6, and now confirmation that that's a season high for him, 162 yards. Cleveland's going to slow it down here, but that's going to be a diversion. We'll go to Mitchell, play action medium pass. First and 10 from the 20. Mitchell has a touchdown. Bobby Mitchell. Barr will try an all-important extra point with 10:39 left in quarter number 4. Blocked! Oh, clutch! Special teams play by Baltimore there. It was blocked by Ted Hendricks, and with his height, he has been known to block kicks and make clutch plays. So we are dead even at 16 all with 10:39 left. Lewis back deep for Baltimore. A huge play there for Ted Hendricks, who at one point had the record in the NFL record books for most safeties. He had 4 safeties in his career, but he was known as a guy who could get up in the air and block kicks and block passes. Could use his height to his advantage. First and 10 at the 20. Incomplete. Unitas was looking for Todd Heap. Unitas has only thrown the ball 15 times, 8 completions, 133 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, with the rainy conditions, both teams keeping it on the ground. Second and 10. This is to Lewis. Lewis gains 3. Didn't look like from my advantage point that he had gained yards, but he did. Third and 7, ball to 23. An end around to Lenny Moore, and this could be interesting. A gain of 2. James bringing him down for Cleveland. Punting time, we think. And this is Metcalf. Metcalf with another nice punt return of 10 yards. Punt went 49, so the net was 39. 9:06 left here in quarter number 4. Double tight end set. Brown, trap right. Gains a couple, and they'll go to that single running back formation. I think it was Washington that made that formation a success back in the 80s. They had that single running back that was John Riggins, and they would use 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. And it was very good because they would give Riggins the ball 35, 40 times a game, but you never know when Joe Theismann was going to go on play action or try a pass. And then third down, they'd bring Joe Washington in, who's in this game for Baltimore. This is going to be trap right Jim Brown on 2nd and 8. A gain of 4. Third and 4. They'll go to Brewster on a short cross. That's caught to Winslow, so Graham changed the receiver and he gained 11. 7:35 left. Cleveland will milk the clock. They'll go back to Jim Brown. Pitch right. And Brown picked up 5. 10th tackle on the day for Terrell Suggs. Ball's at the 42. It's now 2nd and 5. They'll give it to Brown. Dive play. Brown straight ahead. He picks up 3 yards. 28 rushes, 176 yards on the day for Jimmy Brown. 3rd and 2. This is going to be a play action to Mitchell. Short pass. And he's got it. Gain of 18. Bobby Mitchell, who has, let me see here, he had 5 catches against Pittsburgh, and that was his high for the year. He has actually also run the ball 3 times. Let's look at Ted Hendricks real fast and check his height. He's 6'7", and he had 7 tackles against Arizona, had 6 against Kansas City, and he has had 4 sacks coming into this game. He was leading the HTFL a couple of weeks ago with his 4 sacks. First and 10, ball to 21 now of Baltimore. We have 5:14 to go. And Cleveland's going to keep slowing it down. Jim Brown, trap right. And Jim Brown might need to be spelled here. He's down to 87%. And they want to keep using this single running back, double tight end formation. They will bring in Marion Motley, wearing number 76, and they will go to him off tackle right. And Motley picks up 4 yards. He has 10 carries on the day for 31. Short cross to Mitchell on 3rd and 2. Almost caught by Mitchell right at the goal line, but right through his hands. We have 2:56 left. Barr will come in to try a 30-yarder. He just missed an extra point, and he pushes that one off to the right. No good. So Baltimore, with a golden opportunity here with 2:50 left, it's 16-16. They start from their own 20. Here's Lewis. He loses 2. Clay Matthews hurt. He is out for the game. So they bring Mike Johnson in to spell him. 2nd and 12. 3 wide receivers set for Baltimore. And here's Lewis. Picks up 8. 3rd down and 4. Getting close to that 2-minute mark. Each team with 3 timeouts left still. 3rd and 4 from the 26. And a fumble.
Encroachment defense. Number 44.
Unitas got it back, but there was a penalty against Cleveland for encroachment. So with 2:02 left, Baltimore has a new set of downs. 1st and 10, ball to 31. To Lewis, a pickup of 6 on a pass on the check down, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. 1:53 to be exact. We are dead even at 16-16. Okay, here we go. 2nd and 4, ball to 37. Can Unitas lead them down the field? A loss of a yard. It's 3rd and 5. Cleveland will not burn a timeout at this stage, and Baltimore uses their first. They have 2 timeouts left, each team with its challenge left. Incomplete. And now Baltimore will have to punt, as Unitas had to throw that away. Can Metcalf get a good return here? He catches it inside his 20. Return of 11 to the 27. A punt of 48. Graham, 9 for 19, 110 yards. But they need him now. Medium slant to Paul Warfield at 1st and 10. Incomplete, off of his hands. Jim Brown coming back in. They will go to him on a screen on 2nd and 10. With blitz coming, it's a good play, but we have a marker.
False start. Offense. Number 14. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
They get Otto Graham for the false start. 2nd and 15. 1:26 left. Trap right. Jim Brown will try to make Baltimore burn a timeout here. But Jim Brown breaks free and gets 17. He's at 197 yards on the day, and Cleveland will burn a timeout. Interesting play call there. 1:15 to go. Brown, short pass on 1st and 10 from the 39. Off of Brown's hands, and you don't see that very often. 2nd and 10, ball to 39. They'll go to Brown again on a run. Trap right. Try to catch Baltimore napping, and Brown is over 200 on the day. 202 yards. Took Brown 31 carries to get to 200. Now it's 3rd and 5. Cleveland will call another timeout. Short pass. They will look for Bobby Mitchell. That's caught. Gain of 13 and a first down. Cleveland will go to the no huddle. We have 56 seconds left to go. Brown, screen on 1st and 10. But incomplete. Brown dropped it again. Back-to-back drops for Jim Brown. Medium out. Looking for Mitchell on 2nd and 10. Caught. Mitchell down the sideline. He's got a touchdown. 43 yards. His longest catch of the year, and the Cleveland fans going bananas. Thank you, Gorilla Monsoon. Extra point play. Good. 23-16 with 28 seconds left to go in this one, and all of a sudden it's looking like Cleveland's going to be able to pull this out, but never count Baltimore out when you got Johnny U. Lewis back deep. Here's your kick play. Lewis took it inside his own end zone out to the 22. Return to 24. You got Lionel Mitchell and Roger Carr trying to provide a little more speed for the Ravens. We have 19 seconds left in regulation, but Baltimore needs 78 yards and they need it within 19 seconds. 1st and 10. Deflected by Lewis. Incomplete. I'm going to call a play here for Cleveland defensively. 3-1, quarter, prevent. Deep zone. A sack by Ford. And that's your game. Cleveland has won. On a last-minute touchdown by Bobby Mitchell, 23-16. A very good game. Cleveland will go to 5-1 on the year. Baltimore will fall to 3-3. You see it there. 28 seconds left when Graham connected to Mitchell, and all was right in Brown Nation's world. The team stats, 391. That was the total number of yards for Cleveland. 239 for Baltimore. We had 13 penalties in the game. Baltimore ran 46 plays, 26 were rushes. Cleveland 66 plays, 42 were rushes. Cleveland picked up 21 first downs, Baltimore only 10. Player stats, I think you got to give the game ball to Jim Brown with his 202 yards. Definitely set the tone for Cleveland for their 23-16 win. So what does that do to the standings in the lower North Division? Well, see it here on the bottom of your screen as I kind of circle it. Cleveland goes to 5-1. They will have first place at the end of the week regardless of what Cincinnati does. Baltimore falls to 3-3. Cincinnati will be in second place regardless of what Cincinnati does because Cincinnati beat Baltimore earlier. No, I take that back. Let me just take a look here. Cincinnati lost to Baltimore. No, Cincinnati beat Baltimore. I'm sorry. I thought it was 45-40. It was 48-45. So I was correct the first time in saying that regardless of what Cincinnati does, they will hold the tiebreaker over Baltimore. Cleveland will go to 5-1. And they will be in first place no matter what. Pittsburgh, if they beat Cincinnati, there could be a three-way tie at 3-3. But that's it for today. We look and see that Jim Brown did indeed get Player of the Game honors. Our next game, in fact, is Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, then Dallas and St. Louis, and then our next unplugged game, Tampa Bay, traveling to Reliant Stadium to take on the Houston Texans, which is a combination of the Houston Texans and Houston Oilers. Our Monday night game, which will be a little down the road, New York and Philadelphia, and that ought to be a big game. Again, your final for this game, Cleveland 23, Baltimore 16. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well, no matter where you are and whenever you see this. Hope we get past this COVID disease real soon. Godspeed, God bless. And we'll do it again next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.